We have a terrific young man that you're going to love meeting tonight, and a whole lot more. Let's get this party started. Oh, man, wait till you see one of these Super Bowl commercials that they're going to run this weekend. Oh, yeah. I got my glasses on already. Why don't I do this? You know, it's becoming, the eyesight's getting so bad that it's just habit. Boing. Welcome in, Dan Yorke's State of Mind for a Friday evening. Have you noticed by Friday that it gets a little punchy around here? You should see behind the scenes. I'm trying to get this show together, how punchy it gets. Kev's already giggling, and Jess is on a roll this evening. But let us go. You're going to meet a terrific young man who is really doing incredible charity work in such a formal way that I am blown away by his conscientious nature, and it certainly gives me some faith about the generation that will take care of all of us when we're old. Let's go to the rundown, and that's off Clinton. You know, I'm not calling anybody stupid, but you'll get the point in a second. This is an interesting story that was in the paper today about the number of people in the community that just didn't finish. Can we stop this? Stop that. That's the same old playbook. Clay Pell did Newsmakers. You got to see it on Sunday. And there's a lot of ways to choose a Super Bowl winner. We got some goofy ones this evening. All righty, let's get rocking and rolling here. On that first item, it is the math, stupid. Headline from Projo.com, because this is new on the news cycle today. Rhode Island students show improvements on kneecap tests, but 1,800 seniors are at risk for not graduating. That would be 1,800. Yeah, so remember there was almost 4,000 that will have been at risk because they didn't get enough score on the kneecap, didn't even get to partially proficient. Now the number's down to 1,800 after the second test. Here's a graphic of some information that we have here. 73% of seniors have met the graduation requirement in math. That's up from 60%. That same class last year, I believe, gained 13%. Now the 11th graders, the juniors, that's not good. And I don't want to hear about 2-point proficiency increases in a year. We got a situation in math, we really do. Now, the Ed Commissioner, Dr. Deborah Gist, made a broad presentation with a lot of numbers today, but she said something about the standardized tests and defended the reason why you got to have some kind of benchmarks.
Holding students to high expectations is really important. We cannot lower our expectations or think that we are somehow protecting kids by reducing what we believe they're capable of doing. That does not help them. It does not help them when they are 19 years old and out in the world looking for a job, seeking to go to school or some sort of post-secondary experience.
Amen. She also said something very important that didn't make the television reel cut, if you will, but we caught it on the radio side on WPRO, Steve Klampkin's work in the newsroom. This is the same event, but a radio piece of audio here that I really think hits home.
The kneecap assessment is an excellent assessment, and it is truly unfortunate that it has become seen as the problem. The kneecap assessment is not the problem, math is the problem.
Math is the problem. And I know there are a lot of factors as to why math is the problem with our juniors and seniors. But listen, you know, my little one, not so little anymore, now a freshman in college, is in the same group of kids who were abused. Yeah, I said it. Abused by educators by shoving that investigations math program down their throats for a number of years. They're almost like gap kids. It goes to reinforce the idea that when they're in 3rd, 4th, and 5th grade, what they're learning matters. But I still remember, like yesterday, fighting the establishment and going to seminars and trying to figure out what this gobbledygook of dope smoking, moccasin wearing, guitar playing, Woodstock attending freaks that came up with this stupid investigations math program where we talked about the existentialism of the numbers and the ways to get to the problem. And no answer, not every answer is a wrong answer. And there are no absolute, what? Algorithmic skills on the part of our young people are waning in a gap of kids that are now graduating from high school because of the ridiculousness of what educators were doing with them back then. And while I'm speaking figuratively, of course, I fantasize about seeing some academicians walk out in handcuffs, because these kids have paid the price. To this day, my daughter, a freshman in high school, pauses when I say, what's 12 times 11? It's wrong. And you know what? Sometimes the old way is the right way. Anyway, we'll see how the progress goes. They get more chances to grab waivers and more testing, and we'll follow the numbers as we go along. Speaking of other education matters, this was interesting in the paper today. Too many dropouts is the thought I had, but here is the headline on it. Many drop out before earning a degree. Check this out. 20% of Rhode Islanders working in the state today have college experience, but no degree. There's some 9,000 people out there who have gotten close, 2-3 years into college and then dropped out. Now, what they don't tell us is why, and they're on a little bit of a research mission to try to figure this out. I think that's a good thing. It could be economics, it could be the curriculums themselves, it could be all sorts of reasons, but I think it's probably very important for us to assess why so many have gotten so close to another standard of opportunity and fell short. So another education note on a Friday evening for you. And then we go to the General Assembly and we say, please, 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 please stop this. Stop this propensity to look for another revenue stream from the wallets of Rhode Islanders. The headline in the Providence Journal today, bill would apply a tax surcharge on top earners. Now here's the scheme. Senator Harold Metz, nice enough gentleman, longtime veteran legislator. We're going to have to get Harold in here so he can explain what he's trying to do. But really, all he's trying to do is take the 5.99 income tax rate here in the state and jack it to 7.99% for anybody earning over $250,000. Now, if you earn $300,000, the 7.99% would be taxed on the balance of 50. You get that, right? But here's the thing. Every time we're looking to help something, we're looking for another revenue stream and somebody to tax. It's a bad habit. The second thing about this is that the senator is looking for, well, we got flags and state capitol pictures, and that falls under the category of Dan Yorke's State of Mind gratuitous television B-roll. What the hell does a flag have to do with anything? Anyway, woo! Where was I? Oh, the concept here is that he wants to take the money, some $50 million that generates from this tax projected, and give it to the Head Start program, where kids start school before they start school. First of all, Senator, all due respect, nobody ever sticks with dedicated revenue streams in this state. They just kind of fly away. So all this will do is send a whole bunch of money back into the General Assembly's budgetary discretion, and it will get splattered all over Kingdom Come. If you're looking to help Head Start, find it in a priority decision from an existing $8.5 billion budget, please. All right, what else we got here? Oh boy, oh boy. Now I haven't seen the show, but Tim White and Ted Nesi did Newsmakers. They record that program on Friday mornings. And Clay Pell, who's gotten a lot of attention here this week, the third candidate in for governor on the Democratic side, was in. I asked Jess to pick out something that was interesting, and this certainly was.
How long have you lived in Rhode Island full-time? Have you ever lived a full calendar year in Rhode Island?
Rhode Island is my home. It's the place that Michelle and I got married, that we want to raise our family. I have been coming to Rhode Island ever since I was a child, but I became a resident of Rhode Island in college. I've been a resident ever since, and it's the place that I'm invested in, committed to, and the place that I don't want to see suffering as it is now.
So you have lived a full calendar year in Rhode Island?
Well, I've been a resident of Rhode Island since college, and I'm sure during those times I've gone to other places during the year, but I've been a legal resident of Rhode Island since college. This is my home. This is the place I am fighting for.
Oh, this is going to be really hard. This is going to be really hard. Those guys they're so polite. They're so patient. That's why they're so well admired. Okay, I'm going to try this one more time. Were you ever here for a year? From the beginning of a year, pick the calendar, March through March. Were you ever here that whole time? These are not hard questions, Clay. Oh boy. They say he's coming here. Okay, Super Bowl time, making a pick. This counts for Jess's dumbest video ever pulled for the Dan Yorke State of Mind show. We're well over 100 shows now, and this counts as the dumbest. This is an elephant at Ringling Brothers in New York, I guess, for a special little session for the kids. The elephant is picking the Broncos. Can you see? There was a Seahawks little stanchion there, and then the Broncos. But did I not see the trainer just point him right to the Broncos thing? What do you think? There's something magical in that? What do you think? We're stupid? That kid is. Oh, sorry. 5-yard penalty on me. I told you I was a little punchy. And then, guess what we get to look forward to in the commercials? Stuff like this.
In a world filled with war, sometimes the most powerful weapon
Mika!
is love. Make love, not war.
Can you guess the product? Why don't you dial your state of mind? I'll tell you afterwards. But here's a hint. Yeah. Denver 28-24. I'm with the elephant. A wonderful young man who's done some real great charity work, and we come back. Oh boy, stay with us. This is my guest in the middle of his project, which is, frankly, wonderfully shocking that a 15-year-old comes up with this kind of stuff and has been doing it for a lot longer than just a few minutes. A headline here that caught our attention in the, I believe this was in the Providence Journal. Yeah, Cranston 15-year-old wins award for soulful, get it, soul, like shoes, full deeds for the homeless. Nick Lowinger is with us. You're a good guy.
Thank you.
Welcome to the broadcast.
Thank you.
Talk to me about the project. What are you doing here?
Sure. So, Gotta Have Soul, I started 4 years ago.
Gotta Have Soul.
Yes.
Yes.
And I started this organization 4 years ago in order to donate brand new footwear to children living in homeless shelters throughout the United States. And to date, I have expanded the organization into 32 states throughout the U.S., and I've been able to donate new footwear to over 15,000 homeless children.
Those numbers are incredible. They're incredible. How does your mind work? I mean, how did you do this? I can't even think of the right question to ask. It's so impressive. Really. What happened? You had experience early on as a little one, hanging out in homeless shelters, helping, volunteering. Tell me about your early experience.
Sure. So my mom is an art therapist, and when I was 5 years old, she took me to visit a homeless shelter so that I could see how other people were living and be more appreciative of everything I had. While I was there, I was shocked. I mean, imagine there's children having to share shoes with a family member, boys wearing girls' sparkly sneakers, children wearing shoes that are falling apart or shoes that don't fit them if they have anything at all. How can they go to school every day? How can they play sports? How can they be kids? So when I saw this, I knew I had to do something, and additionally, a lot of the kids were complaining about how they were scared to go to school every day because they were being bullied for the kind of footwear they were wearing.
Right. It's a big social dilemma, the whole footwear thing, right? Did you feel this when you were 5? I mean, do you remember feeling it 10 years ago?
I do, yeah. I mean, when I was there and I saw that I couldn't really do much of anything at 5 years old, but I knew that I wanted to do something so that I could give these children equal opportunities in life and stop them from the bullying happening. And so I knew I wanted to do something, and that's when, in 2010, I had this great idea to start an organization.
So between the ages of like 5 and close to 10 or 11 years old, you were volunteering on a pretty regular basis. Your mom would expose you to these great efforts to help the folks in the homeless. And as you matured from 5 to 10, you started to what? Feel a way to articulate how you were feeling about what you were seeing?
Yes, because I'd always been around the kids in the homeless shelters,
Yeah.
and I was only seeing that, it wasn't just one shelter where this was happening. This was happening in many shelters in Rhode Island and all across the U.S. So as I was looking at and watching the news and seeing that the rates for homelessness is going up, and so that means that even more children are being faced with these issues daily. And I knew that I had to do something. That's why I started the organization in 2010. And
When we
yeah.
come back, I want to talk about how a 10, 11-year-old starts an organization like this and grows it to the incredible impact that it is having. I wouldn't go anywhere. Stay with us. This conversation ought to move every parent that's watching it. By the way, the show repeats at 7:30. I'm sorry, you're seeing it at 7:30 or at 11:30, and of course you can catch it online now at WPRI.com. Just click on the More button; it goes right to Dan Yorke's State of Mind, and you can show this show and tweet it out like we do. Every teenager should see this show. You're looking right now at a B-roll of the website that Nick has put together here. The name of the website is
It's gottahavesoul.org.
gottahavesoul.org. All right, we're going to hustle through this. It's an incredible story if you just tuned in. Nick, when he was 5, got a chance to volunteer at a homeless shelter. And, at the age of, what, 10 or 11? This is 4 years old now, and you're 15. So at about 11 years of age, you started an organization to help kids get shoes. Okay, and you won this incredible award, right? The Gloria Brown Prize, or Barron Prize for Young Heroes 2013. That was, is that a national organization recognizing your work?
Yes, it's a national organization, and they are recognizing other youth throughout the country who are doing great works of community service.
And you are. So, okay, so break it down, man. Tell me how you built this thing that helps so many people.
Well, it all really started with an idea based on what I'd seen in homeless shelters, and I really thought that new footwear would help to solve a lot of the problems with bullying and children not having equal opportunities. So I went over to my parents and I spoke to them about this interest, and when they saw that this was something I really wanted to continue doing, they suggested I start a nonprofit organization. And so on the first day of my 7th grade year, I received the 501c3 number, and it's really grown a lot since then.
And so so you established the nonprofit. How have you built $175,000 worth of revenue and 6,000 pairs of shoes? How did you do it? How does the organizational effort work?
Well, I mean, it all really started with one tote at my temple in Cranston, and it started with members of my community coming together to help donate and organize footwear for shelters. And
Where do you keep it all?
it's all run out of our house. Our warehouse is in our garage, so we keep all the shoes there, and it's a struggle for my parents to park there. But
His mom's here. She's very lovely. She's probably going, yeah, this is incredible, but what the hell happened to our house, right? It's crazy. But you're in multiple states now, and are you getting the shoes out to those places, or do you have satellite help, or are there other kids that are, what's happening?
Well, it's all run out of our house, but I'm working with different Gotta Have Soul clubs in high schools throughout the U.S.
Meaning they started because you did?
Yes. So other kids wanting to get involved, and it's great for me to be able to inspire other people and give them opportunities to improve their communities. So that's a part of this idea of collaborative change, where we can all come together to make a big difference, because one person alone can only do a certain amount. But if we, as members of a community and members of the U.S., members of the world, we can all come together.
I say this respectfully. I feel like I'm watching the movie Big. Like, he started when he was 7. He started the project when he was 11. He's 15, and you sound like you're 40, seasoned, and ought to be running for governor. By the way, young people can run for governor in case you've seen. Sorry. I'm so impressed. In fact, I don't think there's enough time in this broadcast to give this all justice. So at some later date, would you come back and talk more about this, and we'll help you with the cause? And yes?
Of course,
Of
I'd
course you
love
will.
to. Thank you.
Wheeler School, 15, wants to be a lawyer. And if you don't go into this weekend feeling good about our next generation after hearing this, then you're like that elephant picking the Broncos. By the way, who do you got this weekend?
I'm not really sure. I mean, I'm a Pats fan, but
You know, so it kind of sucks, doesn't it?
yeah.
Congratulations. Again, the website is, we have it there,
GottaHaveSoul.org.
GottaHaveSoul.org. Congratulations, young man.
Thank you.
You are terrific. Your state of mind when we come back. Stay with us. In addition to the award we cited, Nick also won the Myra Craft MVP Award. Incredible. $175,000 raised, 6,500 pairs of shoes, 1,000 volunteers. Wow. Your state of mind. You'll have a reaction to this, won't you? 228-1886. Leave me a voicemail or send me an email or tweet or Facebook post. Here's a voicemail left at that number.
Now, years ago, I called you when you're on the radio, and you hung up on me. But that doesn't make a difference. You're right. Hell doesn't belong in there just because he has a name.
All right, Richard, and I'm glad we're still friends. I don't hang up on anybody. Have a great weekend. Broncos by 4. See you Monday night, 7:30. My state of mind.